What?
Today we're going to talk about the process and the steps that you need to take while building a deck. Do you realize that when you contract services to build a deck, that over half the cost is in labor alone? A contractor will usually determine how much they will charge by simply multiplying the materials by 2.5. Example, your materials cost $1,600. You multiply the cost by 2.5, and your job cost will be $1,500. This equates to $900 alone in just labor cost. And it's a job that is not as hard as one may think. By following a few simple steps, you could be sitting on your brand new deck, much like this one, in no time at all. These steps include determining the size of the deck, setting a budget, and purchasing the needed materials, and then gathering the needed tools to complete the job, and enlisting the help of a few volunteers. Allow me to walk you through these steps so you can start your project and enjoy a beautiful, warm evening on a deck that you've built with your own two hands. First, decide on a budget amount for your deck project. Your budget will determine the size deck that you will actually build, as well as it'll also serve as a deciding factor on the style of your deck. As you begin to research designs and materials, you will discover that your choices are limitless, which makes the budget the very crucial of all steps. Once you've established your budget, the next step is purchasing the necessary materials to complete your project. You will need to determine which lumber you will use. Lowe's and Home Depot are good retailers, but also check with your local lumber yards. It's a good idea to call around and get prices on the materials you will need. You can also visit various lumber yards to see the selections that they have available in stock. Once you choose a lumber yard, you will need to determine the wood you will use for this project. Ipe wood, a South American hardwood, seems to be the most popular, especially for building decks. It is such a hardwood that it is next to impossible to burn. The USDA Forest Services gives outstanding ratings for bug and rot resistance on this type of wood. You can purchase your other materials from the same lumber yard. You're going to need 4x4 posts for your foundation. There are several choices that you can use for your frame and joist, including 2x10, 2x8x10s, 2x8x12s, or 2x8x16s. It's really not recommended to use the 2x8x16s because you're not going to get the support that you're going to be needing on your deck. And since you will be cutting the wood for your steps and other small things around your deck, the length won't matter, so the longer you buy them, you will actually save some money. I strongly suggest using screws instead of nails because nails usually aren't strong enough to prevent the board from warping or distorting. Now that you've selected and purchased your materials, you'll likely have a few days to prepare the site while you wait for your materials to be delivered. The area where you plan to build your deck needs to be as clear and level as possible. You will also need to have your tools neatly in order and ready accessible. These tools are going to include a skill saw, a miter saw, a jigsaw. You're going to be needing a level. You'll need drill bits, drills, screws, and buckets for mortar. Prepare your buckets for mixing the mortar that will be used to give the foundation the much needed support. Once you've prepared the area and gotten your tools ready, the materials should be delivered. Now it's time to start building your deck. You will start by placing your foundation posts at least 4 feet apart. Once the posts are placed, mortared, and leveled, you will then add the frame, most commonly known as the joist. You will run your joist from one side of the frame to the other side. Make sure each joist is level. Run your decking wood in the opposite direction of the joist. You can place decking with a tight fit, side by side, or you can actually leave about a quarter of an inch gap between each piece. Again, use screws with your decking to the joist instead of nails. This ensures more stability and less warping. The railing is the last part of the deck to be put in place. You can purchase pre-built railing for less than what you can build. Most commonly purchased now is a composite material, and it's preferred because of the low maintenance and the product warranties. Once you've decided what type of railing you will use, place it along the edge of the decking and bolt it down. Can you believe you are finished? Now it's time to sit back in your lounge chair, enjoy a nice beverage while sitting on the brand new deck that you've built with your own two hands. At the next gathering you host, your friends will be amazed by what you've accomplished. Not to mention, their better halves will be jealous. Speaking of better halves, Georgia will be so proud of you that she's liable to bring you refills for at least one summer. More than likely, you will be the talk of the neighborhood. So until the next project you decide to conquer, sit back and enjoy the cool evening breeze from your lovely deck. These are the process and steps of building your own deck and saving yourself some money. Thank you.
I thought you were really going to build a deck.
No, ma'am.